Hello, welcome to GatsbyConf 2022. My name is Dustin Schau, and I'm the VP of Engineering at Gatsby. Today, I'm proud to be here to represent the team building the fastest front end for the headless web. As Chris said, it really is a truly fantastic time to be a web developer, and websites have not only gotten good, they've gotten amazing. They've gotten amazing because of what you all are building with Gatsby. Today, I'd like to highlight why websites have gotten amazing, what Gatsby has done, is doing, and will always be doing to keep them amazing, and provide just a bit of a glimpse into the future for how we think about improving in 2022 and beyond. With that said, enough talk, let's get to it. We hear all the time that one of the central reasons that users choose Gatsby is because of its speed. We believe that the future and the present is fast. Well, yeah, this sounds nice. What does fast really mean? Well, let's unpack the facets of fast and how we think of the key stakeholders in building the modern web, where speed isn't an afterthought, it's the primary consideration. As a developer, you want to confidently choose a tool that helps you get up and running quickly, easily, and the project shipped to production as quickly as possible. You choose Gatsby to help you get farther, faster, to build a working proof of concept in less time than it takes to mock up the wireframe. But why? What inherently about Gatsby helps you create more quickly? You do so because of our massive 3,000 plus plugin ecosystem, and specifically our source plugin ecosystem, which makes sourcing data from any CMS a snap. Gatsby is more opinionated than other frameworks, and these opinions, conventions, and pluggable architecture enable you to build sophisticated, complex use cases quickly. Want a quick start on a progressive web app? Gatsby has a plugin for that. Want to add analytics tracking in just a few lines of code? Gatsby has a plugin for that. Want to add a sitemap and RSS functionality? There's a plugin for that too. Want to source data from your CMS of choice? Oh yes, Gatsby has several plugins for that. The beating heart of this plugin ecosystem is our thriving source plugin ecosystem, many of whom are here today. Let them know what's great. Let them know what could be improved. But ultimately, one of the key things that makes Gatsby tick is this thriving source plugin ecosystem, as I said, so that you can leverage this to get farther faster and build a great proof of concept super quickly. As a content editor, or broadly as a member of the marketing team, you want to deliver engaging, beautiful content that connects with your audience, helps you tell your story, and ultimately helps your business move faster. As a team using Gatsby, you want to be able to confidently publish new content and changes to production. Whether it's a draft, a new feature, or production published content, you want it delivered to your users as quickly and seamlessly as possible. Ultimately, why are we doing all of this? Why does the explosive growth of the Jamstack matter? It's about the user. Users expect high-performance websites, websites that are fun to use, engaging, regardless of where they're at, regardless of what device they're using. Gatsby exists to ensure that all of these stakeholders are delighted in their choice of using Gatsby. Teams choose Gatsby because it's the fastest front end for the headless web. Ultimately, these key facets of fast coalesce into not four things, but one thing, and that thing is Gatsby. When we think about these key elements of speed, I also think of the key personas at play in creating the modern website and what their needs are in building out their web experience. These are the key determinants of the stakeholders building the headless web. Editors expect a quick, seamless editing experience in their CMS where they're able to see their vision come to life. Developers create this vision on time and ahead of schedule. Well, most of the time. Finally, teams deploy their vision after editing, creating, and good old collaborative back and forth. This Venn diagram, this intersection between editing, deploying, and creating, that's Gatsby. That's our relentless pursuit in 2022 and beyond to keep widening this sweet spot, to polish the experience for each stakeholder, and to enable you to build your vision of the web more seamlessly, easily, and you guessed it, quickly. Don't just take my word for it. Let's show the end user impact to all of these key stakeholders, review some metrics and data, and talk about how Gatsby uniquely enables teams to deliver on this need for speed. And ultimately, the usage and the real-world results say far more than I can say myself. More companies are using Gatsby each and every day, whether it's for their documentation or blog, their company landing pages, e-commerce sites of increasing sophistication and scale, or something else entirely. We're so thankful and excited to have all of these great companies, Fortune 1000 to high-growth startups and everything in between, using Gatsby, succeeding with Gatsby, and thriving with Gatsby. I'm just a little biased, but you should join them if you haven't already. JD, you want to hand me my laptop so we can go through some recent sites built with Gatsby?
Of course.
So I wanted to give a high-level primer of some of the recent websites we've seen that have really impressed us on the Gatsby team. So first is Polestar. Polestar is an electric vehicle manufacturer with a truly impeccable website and a Super Bowl ad that generated some serious traffic for their business. Their teams built a super engaging website that helps you peruse their different electric vehicle models in a way that sparks joy. These are the kinds of rich web experiences that you can build with Gatsby to make your business really stand out. Next is Arcane from Riot Games. Arcane from Riot Games is up for a whole host of awards and is built with modern technologies like WebGL and, of course, Gatsby. These are the kinds of experiences that help Riot Games stand out from the pack and deliver the content-rich websites that their business needs. High-performing startup teams like Calendly choose Gatsby to help their teams tell their story. That resulting website, rock solid. No matter whether a viral tweet drives traffic or exciting product launches, Gatsby and their site and their business hums along. Finally, crypto. It's all the rage, and the new Crypto.com is built with Gatsby. As Matt Damon says, fortune does favor the brave, and we're happy to have sites like Crypto built with Gatsby. Thank you. And what do all of these websites have in common? They're engaging, content-rich, and highly performant. Remember that sweet spot? Teams increasingly choose Gatsby to build their vision when they need highly collaborative workflows, content editors and developers and teams seamlessly building, previewing, and working together to build something amazing. Gatsby is their Swiss Army knife that they use from project to project. Let's shift gears just a bit. I've talked a lot about fast, but let's revisit fast to use. The end user is who matters most when we're building Gatsby websites. We all want to deliver engaging experiences, but all too often, in pursuit of these engaging experiences, of that just one more tracking script, we lose sight that it's the end users at the end of the day who make our business tick. But this raises the question, what's the business case for fast? Why has Jamstack seen such rapid adoption? Why does fast matter really? The modern web experience has been stuffed into a sometimes ill-fitting box. In the pursuit of engaging, in the pursuit of amazing, we ship a lot of content to end users on slow devices, on fast devices, on mobile devices, on desktop devices. We're asking users to download oftentimes megabytes of data. The median website size serves nearly 1 megabytes of images and nearly 500 kilobytes of JavaScript, tracking scripts, analytics scripts, and more. This adds up. There's a real cost to end users in shipping more content. Our friends at Google and elsewhere recognize this need for speed. For quite a long time now, the Google team has been helpfully sharing some resources, whether it's Lighthouse reports baked into Chrome. And now we've recognized that the best measures of performance are real user-focused metrics, and thus Core Web Vitals. I like to think of these as the holy triumvirate of performance-focused metrics. If you leave with 3 takeaways, take these. Largest contentful paint, first input delay, and cumulative layout shift. These are metrics that you should understand, as I'll explain why in just a moment, because Google now uses these metrics to rank your site and display search results prioritized by sites that truly are faster. The business case? If you want your website, your content, your business to show up before your competitors, don't solely focus on building a great product, a great experience, delightful content. Focus on speed, because there's a real return on investment in prioritizing the need for speed. The top 1,000 websites score meaningfully higher in these Core Web Vital metrics because Google helps prioritize their results. It's somewhat obvious, but worth restating for concreteness. Building a high-performance website has a real meaningful impact on your business. But it's very, very, very not easy. We hear from teams all the time about how much of a struggle it is to not only build an amazing high-performance website, but maintain a high-performance website. What sufficed 1 year ago does not suffice 1 month ago, does not suffice 1 day ago. Well, I'm exaggerating just a bit, but the point remains. From Phil Walton, an engineer on the web platform team at Google, the metrics that make up Core Web Vitals, the holy triumvirate, will change over time. Score thresholds, potentially even the specific metrics themselves. And this creates an opportunity for your team to make good, performance-conscious choices like using Gatsby. But don't just take my word for it. Gatsby scores significantly higher relative to other web frameworks, and we're continuing to get better, and we're never content. Performance is in our DNA, it's in our very nature, the decoupled web, the performant web, and it's not just keeping a lead, but widening it. That's what gets us going each and every day. As an example of our focus on speed and evolution, last March we shipped Gatsby Plugin Image, which improved runtime performance for all Gatsby sites and improved the user experience for all users. As a result of this work, we, and thus Gatsby users, were early adopters of next-generation image formats like AVIF. What did this lead to? Of the sites using AVIF, nearly 30% are powered by Gatsby. To stay ahead of Core Web Vitals, to keep improving, Gatsby is your Swiss Army knife. Core Web Vitals change, but you can rest assured that we're always cracking the next thing for your secret weapon Gatsby, the tool that helps you keep up and innovate with the rapid pace of innovation happening in the modern web. To give a concrete example, a recent customer, WaveDirect, exemplifies the results that a modernization project like Gatsby can deliver for their business. May to July, They were not using Gatsby, and relatively few of their URLs were being listed because their site wasn't performing like they expected. They switched to Gatsby, and, well, the uptick speaks for itself. Choosing a tool like Gatsby can help transform your business and give you a leg up on your competitors. You may be wondering, well, why? What specifically about Gatsby enables teams to deliver such fast websites? It's in our very nature. Gatsby enables a better web, a decoupled web, a static web. We have launched more dynamic functionality, and we will continue to evolve and iterate to blend the best pieces from both camps. But we will always hold, that the static web is the way that the web should be built. It performs better, it works better, it is better. The ultimate root why is that it's simpler. Yes, you may be saying, Dustin, Gatsby uses GraphQL and Node, and isn't it just an SSG? All this for an SSG? Well, yes, but actually, more importantly, no. Gatsby uses complex technologies. Stick around for Kyle's talk this afternoon on specific technical reasons for why. But the end result of what we produce, the core architecture of Gatsby, is simpler, more fault-tolerant, more secure, and a fundamentally better way to build for the web. Your CMS may go down, your server may go down, your API may go down. Your site never goes down ever. The static web is a simpler web, a faster web, and a better model, and the data supports it. All that said, I know why you're really here. What's new? What's coming? What's the latest, the greatest, and beyond? Well, I am proud to announce some product launches. But first, let's talk a little bit about some recent developments, some data about the excellent year 2021 was truly for the Gatsby user, and then we'll get to the latest and beyond. The greatest framework and cloud product around for the headless web. I'll start with some updates on Gatsby, the open source framework, and then shift into cloud to show how we've scaled and how we've improved in 2021. Ultimately, both of these help set context for what we're doing and launching today, how far we've come, and how bright the future for the Gatsby user truly is. In October 2021, we launched our most exciting release of Gatsby yet, 4.0. And in the last few months, we launched 4.1, and 4.2, and 4.3, and 4.4, and oh my gosh, you get the idea. We have and continue to launch a new release of the best-in-class open source framework for the headless web every 2 weeks. If you happen to miss the memo on 4.0, we launched 2 new exciting rendering modes, SSR and DSG, that enable you to build your vision of the web without compromise. SSR, or server-side rendering, for when you really need it. Truly dynamic, personalized content? No sweat. Gatsby's got your back. Further still, we launched DSG, a just-in-time rendering mode that renders collections of pages based upon a user requesting that page. Don't let the jam tax get you down. Build with DSG, and defer the pages that can wait and then be cached and made available for all users without a significant cost to your build time. These exciting releases have led to many of you updating, as well as building net new sites with Gatsby 4. In Gatsby Cloud, over 80% of new sites are now created with Gatsby 4. 12,000 new sites have been created since launch. And in aggregate, over 60% of sites are now using Gatsby 4. I ask you, why haven't you upgraded yet? If you're hanging around tomorrow, be sure to attend Haled and Mihal's workshop. They'll supply you with a bunch of tips and tricks and real-world examples of teams who have upgraded so that you can perform the upgrade. It's easier than you may think. And ultimately, the latest and greatest is always just an NPM install away. Check out our migration guides, and most customers are able to migrate in just a few hours. And yes, you can certainly skip versions, so if you're on Gatsby 2, it's possible to upgrade to 4 directly. Just read the guides. Again, don't just take my word for it. Here's a recent testimonial from the ecobee team who recently upgraded to 4.7. The ecobee team says, okay, holy crap, it's just absurd how much faster it is. 170 seconds for a cold build on 4.7. That's significantly faster than our main branch on V3. This is what the ecobee team was able to realize just by upgrading, just by NPM installing to the latest and greatest. For cloud, we have significant usage and significant volume. We're serving demanding customers and meeting and exceeding their needs. In 2021, nearly 10 million builds, 35,000 new sites, more than 2.5 million previews, and 2 million deploys. In aggregate, we've spent 71 years building Gatsby sites. With this usage, with this volume, we are learning how to scale Gatsby to all of these use cases and the next one too. You choose Gatsby Cloud because we're the Gatsby specialists, and this volume, this usage, is how we learn, improve, and get even better. In the last 90 days, we've seen an influx of usage to our cloud platform. You and your users throughout the globe are generating some serious scale for our burgeoning cloud platform. 70 terabytes of data transferred through our CDN, 3.6 million successful builds, and 2 billion, yes with a B, billion, requests to your websites hosted with Gatsby Cloud. We have real volume of scaled usage, demanding customers, and we're meeting and exceeding those needs with our cloud product. What speaks to this volume? We've quietly been making cloud rock solid, and one such key example is the stability of our CMS Preview product. If you've used it a year ago, or even in the past few months, check it out again. It's getting truly amazing, and we have another exciting launch today that I'll get to in just a bit. And quality is composed of not just stability, but also speed. In 2021, we made sweeping improvements to how we deploy your sites, and these deployments led to monumentally improved publishing experiences for you and your teams. As an example, in early May, our site would take up to 2 minutes to deploy. Now, roughly 10 seconds. And then finally, the speed that matters oftentimes to you and your teams most, build speed. A recent third-party benchmarking analysis was performed where Gatsby Cloud went head-to-head with other Jamstack providers, and the numbers ultimately do speak for themselves. If you want the fastest, the most stable, the most reliable experience in any cloud, you come to Gatsby Cloud, the platform for which Gatsby was designed. But what have you done for me lately? That voice in the back of your mind cannot be silenced. Well, we've been up to a thing or two, and I'm excited to represent the team who has helped build them. This will be a quick, rapid-fire set of announcements, and then stick around to hear directly from the teams that built them in later sessions from Joel, Patrick, Jack, Catherine, and more. First, let's focus on cloud. We've recognized that larger and larger teams are picking Gatsby Cloud for its best-in-class build speed, CMS Preview product, and ultimately our entire product suite. But these larger teams have more demanding needs, and we're excited to today launch several features for larger teams. Specifically, on-premise GitHub support, an enterprise feature allowing users to source sites on Gatsby Cloud from self-hosted Git connectors. GitLab, coming soon. Private IP and reverse proxy. For teams incrementally migrating or behind a firewall or VPN, you can now leverage Gatsby Cloud for your team's needs. Finally, advanced redirect support, including geographic and language-based redirects. But we're not done yet. Let's talk a little bit about the framework. 3 specific releases to highlight. TypeScript support. We hear you developers loudly and clearly, and you love TypeScript. We've supported TypeScript for authoring for the last few years, but now we support using TypeScript for your entire Gatsby configuration. TypeScript, all the things. Trailing slashes, a long-standing pain in the Jamstack. To trailing slash or not to trailing slash. We enable you and your teams to choose, and now with support at the framework and within Gatsby Cloud, your teams choose and no more duplicate content warnings. Finally, CMS starters for some key CMSs so that you can get up and running with the proof of concept as quickly as possible. I want to highlight CMS homepage starters in particular. These are a brand new set of beautifully designed CMS starters for Contentful, WordPress, Drupal, Dado CMS, and Sanity coming soon. We've found these are particularly great if you're an agency or if you have some client work and you want to get up and running lickety-split. Check out our new CMS starters and stick around for later talks for even deeper dives. Finally, today has been quite heavily focused on the need for speed. We're never content. Remember that graph I shared earlier with deploy times and the average being roughly 10 seconds? Well, 10 seconds is good, but you know what's better than 10 seconds? Nearly instant deploys. Today, we're excited to launch the beta availability of incremental deploys for CMS Preview. Just like with incremental builds, this architectural improvement will enable your deploys to be nearly instant by only uploading to our best-in-class CDN what changes, no more and no less. What does this mean for you? Faster builds, nearly instant builds, and nearly instant previews depending upon the scale of your site. As an example, GatsbyJS.com has roughly 8,000 pages and previously took a little over 10 seconds to deploy. Now, deploys take just 500 milliseconds. You choose Gatsby because these are the gaps we care most about. We achieve fast, and then our next question is, but how can we go faster? 10 seconds is good, but you know what's better? Instant. If you care about the gaps, if your team has a need for speed, come check out Cloud and our latest features. We're getting freaky fast. If you've been listening astutely, you've likely caught some high-level themes today. That of speed, that of developer experience, that of editor experience, that of deployment experience. These are the problems that we're always pursuing. This intersection between editor experiences, between developer experience and creating, between teams deploying, this is what we care about most and what we continuously pursue. Specifically, in the next 6 months, you should expect a new version of Gatsby that doubles down on performance and developer experience. You should expect improved versions of source plugins that strengthen their utility in Gatsby Cloud and deepen the functionality of our GraphQL data layer. You should expect more and more powerful starters. You should expect speed. You should expect editor improvements. You should expect us to make this sweet spot ever sweeter because you choose Gatsby, the fastest front end for the headless web. Finally, I'd like to say a
Dustin,
simple,
what about that other thing?
oh, right, there's something hot off the presses. That's right, one more thing. Today, we're proud to continue to strengthen our lead with our best-in-class image experience in Gatsby and Gatsby Cloud. We already launched Gatsby Plugin Image in March 2021, and today we're excited to announce our new image CDN, where images are transformed at the edge instead of at build time. What does this mean for you? It means no build time cost for optimizing images, and because these are hosted from the same origin as our hosting product, you should expect significant runtime performance improvements, particularly targeted at improvement in core web vitals. Image CDN is available in beta today. Check out the latest and greatest and let us know what you think. But wait, there's more. Stay tuned to the rest of these great talks. The real professionals, the folks doing the work, and the folks building some of the greatest and most amazing Gatsby sites around. Finally, I'd like to say a simple thank you to the team building Gatsby, to the teams building with Gatsby, and to all of you for what you'll build next. We appreciate your interest, we appreciate your support, and your users most of all appreciate you for building with Gatsby. We can't wait to see what you'll build next, and we're confident it'll be built with Gatsby. Thank you.
Don't miss the live Q&A coming up now.
We're back.
Wow. Thanks, Dustin. I don't know if you were watching the chat, but people are pretty excited. We got some good questions too for you.
Awesome. I'm stoked.
Stoked. Nice. Me too. So I'm going to jump right into it because we really do have several questions for you. First and foremost, which of the announcements that you just made excites you the most and why?
Well, I don't have children, but it's kind of like, which is your favorite children? So, all of them is my go-to answer. No, so I think that image CDN is super exciting for a lot of reasons. I talked a little bit about how Gatsby is always pursuing, build time perf, runtime perf. This is what gets us going, every single day. And so it's nice to have a feature like that really drives down build times for image optimization, which, as Chris said, is like still kind of shockingly hard, And so it makes it easier for the developer. It improves the life of the end user. And, there's no basically jam tax, on optimizing your images, as Patrick, PM on the Gatsby team, has said. That being said, I do have to do a part two to my answer. Incremental deploys is a game changer. So, it really makes CMS preview feel like near-ish instant. And, if you haven't yet checked out CMS preview, if you have a CMS like Contentful or Sanity or Data CMS or Drupal, any of the great CMSs you've heard about today, please check it out. It's getting shockingly good. And so those are kind of my go-to answers, but of course, all the great work that the Gatsby team is doing, it excites me in infinite ways. But those are the two that I highlight, probably top of mind.
All right. Awesome. And I feel the same way. And I can say using preview while building the Gatsby Conf site has been amazing. So kudos to you and the rest of the team on all of that. Now I'm going to go, though, to the other side of the spectrum here and say, which announcement do you think might fly under the radar a little bit for people, because there's some other bigger announcements? What do you think people should pay attention to that they might not be?
Yeah, I think that, so the few I mentioned are, really Gatsby Cloud focused, which is great. If you're using Gatsby, you ultimately should be using Gatsby Cloud. It's the best place to build, deploy, and collaborate with Gatsby applications. But what excites me too is the improvements we're making on both fronts. And so I've been really excited with the improvements we've made to the Gatsby open source project. So I'm a TypeScript guy. I've been for quite some time. I think it's pretty amazing. So, we kind of internally say, like TypeScript, all the things. And so I do really think it has a lot of developer experience, developer ergonomic improvements. And so I'm really excited to see, what people think of kind of the regular and rapid improvements we've made with basically every version of the Gatsby open source framework. So 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, oh my God, you get the idea. So those are the ones that, every couple of weeks, there's something new and exciting. And that one on TypeScript, I think in particular, was very exciting. So kudos to the team, but ultimately kudos to you, the developer, because your life just got better using Gatsby in a small but meaningful way.
Nice. All right. Thanks for sharing that. And I think you probably just got people on the edge of their seats when you said Gatsby 1, 2, 3, 4, they thought you might keep going. So nice building up the suspense
I can
there.
only do one more thing twice or once.
Right. All right, I'm gonna shoot you one more question. I'm taking this one from the community before I pass it over to JD. And this question is from Robin. They asked, when are ESBuild, Vite, Snowpack, or similar coming to Gatsby?
Yeah, so first of all, great question. Glad you asked it. Remember how I talked a little bit about how, there's build time perf and like runtime perf. This is kind of what gets us going, each and every day. We think that a lot of the improvements, that like Webpack and Crew have made are super exciting. It really changed the kinds of sophisticated sites that you can build. But I do think that there are newer tools like ESBuild, like Vite, like Parcel, that are also innovating and getting ever faster. And so we're investigating that space very deeply. I think that you should expect some more news and announcements on this later, not today, but later. And we will certainly keep making improvements to the build time performance of Gatsby users with tools like we mentioned.
Cool, thanks.
Excellent. I'm going to stick with the community here. We had a question from Kwesi out in our crowd who was wondering, in your talk, you referenced a performance benchmark test. Was that from an independent entity, or is that something we did in-house? Maybe give them a little source on that.
For sure, yeah. Good question, Kwesi, or via JD. So yeah, the benchmarks were created by a guy named Alex, totally external to Gatsby. He posted on Twitter one day and he's like, hey, I'm gonna compare all of the Jamstack tools with Gatsby sites. I'm like, cool, all right, fingers crossed, And so we were pretty delighted, of course, to see that benchmarking and kind of like blog posts come across. The results do kind of speak for themselves. All the benchmarks are open sourced. If you haven't already checked out the article, it's on Dev2. Maybe someone can post a link in the chat. But yeah, totally external. We have no bias in that regard, but we are pretty pleased with the results, of course, because it shows why we believe Gatsby Cloud to be the best place to build and deploy your Gatsby site.
Yeah, no, love to hear that. One thing that keeps coming back to my mind actually in watching your talk, and I know you, Dustin, yourself have been not only a part of the Gatsby company for a while, but have been involved with Gatsby, the framework, for some time, even prior to working here. When Gatsby started, I think it got a bit of a reputation as being, it's great for personal blogs and things like that. How have you really seen the sophistication of sites change over the last few years? And I know we know that people are doing a lot more complicated things than their blog, but yeah, how have you sort of seen that change and evolve?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's also kind of fun to give a personal anecdote to answer this. So I'll try to be quick. But I joined Gatsby by building my blog. So blog.dustinschau.com. I have 4 or 5 blog posts. So prolific publishing. Yeah. So anyways, that's what kind of drew me to Gatsby. That's why I joined the team. When I use Gatsby, I'm like, holy crap, this is magic. This is the way that I want the web to be built. And so what was interesting is at that point, Gatsby was seen as like just an SSG. And I think that what we've done over the past several years by building out our cloud product, by making Gatsby scale to more and more use cases, we're scaling what static sites can do. And so, 3 years ago, yeah, Gatsby was great for blogs. It's still good for blogs, but it was great then too. And so what's been interesting to see is that, year over year, some of the data and benchmarks and stuff that we're showing today, by scaling SSG, it's unblocking whole new kinds of use cases for our customers, for you, the developer, for marketing teams. And so I think some specific examples, e-commerce 3 years ago with Gatsby would have been a bad choice. Our builds were a little too slow, not quite as fast as you needed, so if you have 1,000 products, it would take a while, and by scaling SSG, by driving down our build times, by launching features like incremental builds, those are the kinds of innovations that have unblocked, whole new hosts of sites. And so not only that around e-commerce, but I also think scale of site. So we have a higher education customer who has an 80,000 page site. Again, would not have been possible, 3 or 4 years ago. It would have been like, no, not a good choice for Gatsby. Yeah. Now it's a great choice, so teams of content editors, developers, marketers are using Gatsby for more and more sophisticated use cases, for more and more complex use cases, for larger and larger sites. And we are humming along in the background, ensuring that when they do something, it's ready. When they publish a new item, it's ready, pretty close to instantly.
And we'll hear from a lot of great examples throughout the day today and some of the talks and the workshops tomorrow where people are using Gatsby for much more complicated sites like that. We'll do one last question, Dustin. I'm going to force you to keep your answer quick because we're on a time clock here. Just like I asked Chris earlier, the web is great. We're loving it. And there's amazing things we can do now that maybe we couldn't do in the past. What is still the one thing that you feel like is too hard or still needs to improve to get to really make things better?
Yeah, it's so hard to answer one thing. So I'll answer one thing with a bucket of things. So I do think Lighthouse is extremely good for is my website good? And so it has different characteristics of good websites. So performance, accessibility, SEO, best practices, and each of those can be shockingly hard. So Gatsby gives you a leg up on your competitors by giving you a performant baseline, by giving you an accessible baseline, by giving you a good baseline for SEO via way of static content. I think that the singular one that is still harder than I would like is, so even though Gatsby gives you a performant baseline, that sliding scale of what made you perform 1 or 2 or 3 years ago keeps changing. And so I think that's something that we're going to keep investigating, expect improvements, Q2 and onwards on basically how you can keep your site fast, how you can make your site faster with Gatsby, and how we can give you more and more tools, primitives, components even, for how we can make your site perform faster for your end user.
Excellent. Love that. Always pushing performance. Well, look, Dustin, we want to thank you so much for your talk. It was amazing. If you still have questions for Dustin, I know there were others we didn't get to, he'll be sticking around. He can comment back in the chat on the Q&A window, but we'll let you get out of here, Dustin.
Thank you,
again.
Dustin.
Thank you very much. See ya.
All right.
Awesome. See you later. All right. Now we are going to be doing something that we've never done at Gatsby Conf, and we think you're going to like it. It's the Gatsby Conf Raffle giveaway.
Woohoo! A raffle. All right. When each of you registered, you were automatically entered into the raffle, and we've got prizes coming from people and brands that are building with Gatsby. So every one of these raffle prizes is delivered by a company that's using Gatsby in some way for their web. So let's get to it and reveal the first batch of winners.
All right, let's do it. So you might have noticed he just said batch. So this is the first round of winners that we're going to announce today. And then throughout the day, mostly during the breaks, we will be announcing more. So we will share what the prizes are, a little bit about them. We definitely encourage you to go check out the websites because, again, they're fast, performant, beautiful, all of the things. And then you can also go to gatsbyconf.com/raffle to double check the winning tickets that we announce. So if you don't happen to catch the code that we say here, or if you just want to triple confirm that it wasn't yours, you can go there, gatsbyconf.com/raffle, in just a few minutes to see this first batch of winners. All right, let's get to it, JD.
Let's get to it. First prize, a $500 value. What is it? This one's right from us. It's a Gatsby Cloud Pro subscription. So a free annual subscription, no charge to you for Gatsby Cloud. We are going to give that away now. Cross your fingers. Virtual drum roll. Can you hear me? I'm air drumming. All right. Drum roll's going. The winner code is KC05713. That's KC05713. You won Gatsby Cloud.
Congratulations, the very first Gatsby Conf raffle giveaway winner.
Ooh, special one.
Very special, yes. Go down in history, actually.
That's right.
So the next raffle prize that we have up is coming to us from Ritual. Ritual is not only one of our raffle prizes, but they're an official sponsor of Gatsby Conf. So thank you so much to Ritual. And in case you are not aware of what they do, they are an online retailer of multivitamins and nutritional supplements for women. So definitely check out their site. But before you do that, look at your raffle code because I'm about to call out the name. All right, it's RO3259915. Congrats to whoever is holding that lucky ticket. All right, JD, you're up. What's next?
All right, Ritual, love that, love that. Next one, going to kind of keep it Gatsby, not a Gatsby employee per se, but we're going to keep this one focused on Gatsby. It is Wes Boss, the boss of the Gatsbyverse, the Jamstack, web development, you name it. This is Wes Bost's master course on Gatsby, the Gatsby Master Course. It's a digital subscription to, learn more about Gatsby, improve your skills, get up to speed on Gatsby. So a great course from the boss, Wes Bos. All right, the winner code on that, M as in Mary, X 432953. MX4 32953. You're hanging with Wes Bos. Congratulations.
That one is awesome. And good news, we have a couple others to give away later for Wes. So if that wasn't your ticket, stick around. You might win it later. First, I have one more raffle prize to give away now, and that is $250 gift card to Jackson. That's a top tier luxury jewelry brand featuring chains, bracelets, rings, and more. And it's Jackson with 2 X's, just FYI. So again, pay attention. Here's the code, SB51437. All right.
All right.
I hope someone is jumping up and down in excitement right now because you just got $250 in jewelry.
Yeah, that's amazing. Great for yourself or great for a gift. I know we're just past Valentine's, but never harm. Never a bad idea to give jewelry. Never a bad idea to give jewelry. So congratulations to everybody who won. That's the first batch. We will be continuing to do raffle prizes throughout the day. And remember, you can go to gatsbyconf.com/raffle to confirm your winning ticket, find instructions for claiming your prize. So, okay, let's keep things moving. We're going to take a very short break right now, and then we're returning with 2 talks. So we're going to split. Lacey and I are going to go different places, different rooms, and drive the rest of the talks from there. Up next is going to be Gatsby's own, the GOAT, as we like to call him, Ward Peters, and the other is from Uniform's Tim Bennix. So those are our next 2 presentations. Short break. Make sure to go talk to our sponsors, view the agenda, figure out what you want to watch this week. Definitely go hit up those sponsors in their booths. You can still ask those questions to Dustin. Keep those coming all day as well. And we'll see you again in a few minutes.
We'll see you soon. Everybody. Bye.